All praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakak Wadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. This is going to be a lesson about the common miracles that are going to be performed via the charagma, right? Because that's been put more in the forefront of the earth and more in the forefront of people's speech every single day, right? With the whole Neuralink thing and everything that's going on. And this is going to cause, when they actually start doing these things and using it on humans, it's going to cause for these things to perform what the world would call miracles, right? And if these things would have been performed from the beginning, right, and would have been performed during the time that men in the scriptures was living through, these things would have been considered it would have been considered miracles on the left hand side, man, right? So let me get some scriptures, because when these things start to happen, that's going to turn more and more people's faith away from the Lord, right? It's going to turn more and more people's faith away from the Lord and people's faith in towards this world. This is Revelation chapter 19 and verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that received the charagma, and them that worshipped his image. These both were cast alive into a lake of fire, burning with brimstone. So those miracles that they're going to be performing, right, with the charagma and the things that they already do, those things are going to be used to deceive people. But a lot of people are going to be deceived into thinking that those things were good and were beneficial for them, right? Because in a carnal sense, it will seem as though it was beneficial, right? So let's say, for example, through the charagma, they're able to make a blind man from his birth be able to see, right? To a carnal man, that would seem as though, yeah, that's a beautiful thing, right? But if you actually understand that they're doing this through the power of wickedness, right? Even though it might seem as though they're doing a good work, if you try and do a good work through wickedness, it's not really a good work, right? It's not really a good work if you're using wickedness to perform these things, right? But that's going to cause for people to believe in this place more and more when these things start to happen. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the life of the Lamb, slain from the foundation of the world. And when these things start to happen, that's going to further increase people's worship, man. It's going to further increase people's strength of worship, because they're going to be like, man, this kind of stuff is far beyond I ever thought that they could do. That they could do. And it's going to increase people's faith, man. Just like how when we see things, the prophecies start to come further and further that we've been waiting on, that increases our faith, right? If Yahweh was to perform a miracle in front of us through whatever means he was to do it, right, that would improve our faith, right? That would improve if we was to be walking on the street and we turned to the left or to the right and we saw an angel, that's going to ultimately improve our faith, right? Because we'll see that stuff's coming through the power of Yahweh Shai, through Yahweh. But when these people see what they believe in, which is the world, when they see that the world is able to perform things that are considered miracles, that's going to improve their faith, right? Verse 12, and he exercised of all the power of the first beast before him, and caused of the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And that's ultimately talking about the rebirth of the Roman Empire, man. Which is interesting, because when NATO first when they first started NATO, that all the paperwork that they signed was called the Treaty of Rome, right? All the paperwork that they signed was called the Treaty of Rome, man. So it's proof that is part of the beast, man. All those different nations that are part of NATO, right? All those original 10 nations that all signed the paperwork during I think the year is 1949, man. Verse 13, and he doeth great wonders, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men. So that's going into the whole thing that happened in Japan, man, when they made fire come out the sky on that day, right? That day, and before that as well, when they tested these things, man, that was them bringing fire down from heaven, man, onto the earth in the sight of men, and that's been one of their miracles, man. That's one of the miracles on the left hand side that they've been able to perform. That's caused for people to ultimately worship the beast because nobody really wants to battle America, man. Like even though Russia's doing all the things that they're doing, they're ultimately really trying to do things and have been trying to do things to stop that taking place, right? Whereas America's been further tormenting that nation of people who are also really part of their own nation anyway, just a different tribe. They've been tormenting them, man. They've been tormenting them and further testing them to try and take it there, man. Because that's a place that sees it in their mind as though we can make fire come down from heaven. We're the greatest when it comes to that kind of stuff. And that's the way how the world sees it. And that's why in Revelation 18, it says such things as who shall make war? Who shall make war, man? In fact, let me try and see if I can find the exact words that it says. Where is the exact words that they said about this? I'll read this point. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Revelation chapter 18 and verse 18. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what city is like unto this great city? And that's talking about when they see what happens to America, they're gonna be like crying about like the destruction of that place, man. And mainly it's gonna be because of the fact that they've lost their biggest customer that bought all their products. But it's also gonna be because they're gonna witness the destructive power of what that's gonna perform, and they're gonna know that there's been several millions of people in that land that are never gonna be alive ever again on the earth, man. That are never gonna that are just melted. They're gonna be crying for all the children that was over there that got melted, man. They're gonna be crying for that destructive power, and they're gonna be crying for knowing that some of that destructive power is coming to the lands that they live as well. They're gonna be crying about that, man. They're gonna be scared. And in the time of this taking place, they're gonna be crying for other things that they're gonna see because that destruction is gonna cause for Yahweh Shai to show up, man. Yahweh Shai is going to enter into the earth during the times of the of World War III, man. That war is gonna cause for Yahweh Shai to show up on the earth to gather the elects that are in that land that Yahweh doesn't want to die. So he's gonna send Yahweh Shai to save these men, women, and children that are of the elect. And we carry on in this Revelation chapter 13 and verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live. And that's ultimately going into how they're going to try and set the world in such a way that they want the world to be, man. They're going to set the world according to what they think is the right way. That's what kind of things it's talking about when it says making things in your image. You're making it according to what you think is the right way. Not according to what is the right way, but according to what you think is the right way, because you think now you've got such power that you can make and mold the world in your image. And that's why when they start to be able to perform miracles with this charagma, right, that they're going to place in people's head, and they're going to be able to fiddle about with people's brain, try and do things to people's central nervous system, they're going to try and send electric signals into people's head to control them or whatever, right, so that they can make body parts, right. I found out about a term today, a modular body, which is like a living body that's not alive. So it's ultimately like a human body almost that doesn't have a spirit in there. You see, it's like a body that don't have a spirit in there. So if you need a new heart, let's say, with a modular body, what they're trying to think they can do is, oh, I need a new heart, so I'm gonna make one in a modular body, and then when I take this heart out of this modular body now, I'm gonna put it into a human, and then I'll make another part of this modular body again. I'll make another modular body heart, just in case I need it for later. Do you see? That's the kind of things, that's the kind of miracles that they're able to perform, and these things are gonna make people think that they're gods on earth, man. It's gonna make people already worship Esau anyway. They trust him. They trust the methods of how he thinks about going about getting money. They trust the method of the survival of the fittest and all that, right? That he's supposed to deceive people to get by. He's supposed to backstab people to get an extra £10 a month. You know, they think all of that's already good. They don't have a problem with anything that happens in this world. They've just got a problem with how they might not have a big enough portion of it. So if they're able to get the same portion of it, then they don't care about nothing. And that's why most of these rich Israelites that you see, as soon as they get £1,000,000 and they feel secure that they're always going to have £1,000,000 at least, or access to a millionaire lifestyle, they always sell out everything, man. They're sold out. They always, all the fight that they might have had in them is always defeated, man. They start getting a few interviews, you know, they start getting a few interviews in the world, and now all the fight that was in them is done, man. Because that gifts that they've been given has destroyed their heart and has took their heart away, man. And now they've received the earth, right? They've received the world, but they've lost their own soul, man. Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So that's what they've got the power to do right now on the earth, man. They've got power to make the world and mold the world in their image of what they think is the right way, right? And then if people don't want to bow down to that, they've got power to get rid of them. And Yahweh is going to give them the power to do that, man. And that's why in the time to come, right, when they've made miracles with this charagma, right, they're going to almost put it as though, why would you not bow down and worship us when we've completed life? That's what they're going to think. They're going to basically, let me go to this scripture. Let me go to this. Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. But when the world leaders, man, are able to do the things that they want to do with this charagma, and they see that they've actually been able to do it, they're not going to be thinking that the meaning of life is this. They're going to be thinking that they found the meaning of life. So when they're saying to people, here, come and take this, it's going to seem almost stupid. They're going to try and make it seem as though people are actually stupid to not want to take it. They'll be like, why wouldn't you want to take this? Right? Why are you refusing to take this when we're gods? That's how they think about themselves. That's how they're going to be pushing it out there. Like, why would you not want to take this when we've shown you that we understand how the world works? Look at all the things that we're able to do. That's how they're going to come with it, man. Verse 16. And he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And that's how they're going to come with it, man. They're going to be like, well, we've completed how the world's supposed to work. We understand it all. We can make anything that exists. We can make our own version of it, right? We can make our own water. We can make our own artificial animals, right? We make our own grapes. We make our own everything. We got plant-based versions of everything. We can make our own of all of this, right? So we require now everybody to take place and to take part in what we've made, right, in this world that we've made. And if you don't want to do it, you're out of the world that we're making, because we don't need people like you in this world that we're making. That's how they're going to be coming with it, man. That's how they're already talking. When you look at some of these people in the what's the word, man? Let me use the abbreviation WEF, right? When you look at some of the people that are in that, and you hear how they're talking, man, the levels of pride that come off these people is disgusting. But they're already saying saying things like we can make God as angry as we want because he can't do nothing. That's pretty much how they're talking, man. Because they think that with their technology, that they can now do whatever they want to do. And this is scriptural, right? It's scripture that they was going to act like this. It's in the scriptures, man. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge have perverted thee, and that was said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. So because they've got access to do all these things, because they've got unlimited time, unlimited resources, and anything that their mind considers to do, they've been able to do it and try and test out to see if it works, right? Anything that you can think of that they might have tried, if they want to try and see what happens if a crocodile has a child with a tries to have a baby with a lion, they've probably tried that. If they wanted to see if they could make a lyodile, man, right? If they wanted to make a damn crocophant, right? They might have tried to see if a elephant can get pregnant by a crocodile. They probably tried that, man. They've probably tried it, man. Anything that you can think of that's bugged out, E has probably tried and attempted to see if they can do that, man, because they've trusted in their wickedness, right? They've trusted in it. They've trusted in the ability that they have to try and attempt and have a go at anything under the sun. And that's why when you go to Wisdom of Solomon, the second chapter, it lets you know the mind of the wicked, that they say, let us try pretty much everything before we run out of time. That's how they think. So they ain't got no limitations on what they will or they won't attempt. And ultimately, it's Yahweh making them do these things, because there's a certain point that they're going to get to where that's it. Like, they went too far. There's a certain point that they're going to go where you've went too far now. And that point is where they say everyone needs to have this, otherwise get off the earth. And that's a proud man. That's how proud these people are. That's what they're saying. That's how they're going to say it, man. Well, that's the kind of speech that they're going to be saying. Everyone needs to take this thing that we're pushing out on everyone. Otherwise, get off the earth. Not otherwise get out of the country or go and live on another land somewhere else and we'll leave you alone and you just get away from this land that we're on. No, they're going to say, get off earth. If you don't want to be about what we're talking about right now, get off the planet. That's how they're going to be saying. It's not that they're going to give you a little section like what, or like how try and do what they did to the tribe of Gad, where they say, okay, you go on the renovations. No, they're going to say at this point, if you're not down with this, get off the earth. Get off. Get out of earth. That's how they're going to be coming with it, man. Get off the planet. That's how they're going to be saying it. Because if you don't want to take it, what is their plan to do? Revelation 20:4. Right? That's what their plan is, man. And at that, if they was able to get this and perform this, if they ever did find any people somewhere out in the Amazon rainforest, you already know that they're going to be trying to bring them into that system, or they just get rid of them. You already know they're going to be saying, get off the earth, man. We don't want the earth to be with people that are outside of my reign. That's how they are, man. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 6, for wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. So Yahweh's guiding them to that mindset. He's guiding them to this. He wants them to be like this, man. And I've got some scriptures written down that I'm going to in this lesson. I'm going to get this one, right? This is Job chapter 21 and verse 28. For ye say, where is the house of the prince? And where are the dwelling places of the wicked? Have not ye asked them that go by the way? And do ye not know their tokens? That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. And that's because Yahweh's been slowly guiding them all the way up to that point, man. And there's a particular quote, man, from a movie, man. It's a good movie, I think. Anyway, the movie's called No Country for Old Men. And it's got hitmen in the movie. And one of the hitmen says to the other hitman that's been sent to try and get him and to take him out, he says, if the rule that you followed brought you to this point, and he's saying this after he's got a weapon aimed at him and he's about to get rid of him. And he says, if the rule that you followed brought you to this point, meaning to the point of your death, then how good was the rule, right? Or what value was the rule? And that can be said to E, man, because if the rules that E followed and the way that he fought is going to ultimately bring him to become completely extinct off the face of the earth, then how good and how wise was he really? How smart could he really have been when everything that he's being guided towards is ultimately to make him fall away and fall down? Job chapter 20 and verse 23, when he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he's eating. So every single thing that he's ever been doing in his life has been done to cause for him to be destroyed, man. Every single move that he's made Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. And all these things that he has been doing seem right to him, but the end thereof for him is going to be this. The end of all this stuff that they've been doing in their life is going to be this point right here. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them. And there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh have spoken it. So every single thing he did is ultimately going to cause for him to go into destruction, man, completely. To be completely phased out of the earth. All of it, every work that he's ever did in his whole life. From the captivity that they put us into, right, to the Hellenization, to the coming over to America and destroying the tribe of Gad and the rest of the tribes. All of it was always leading him to go into what he's going to go into, man. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 12. In fact, verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of Yahweh. I will sit upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. And that's how they fought. But what does the scripture say? Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms? Because they're going to fall. But it's going to look on the earth when they start to perform these miracles. It's going to look as though faith is gone, man, from the earth. You're going to be surrounded by a whole bunch of people that are talking about those things. You might be at work. Oh, did you see what they did? It's amazing, isn't it? It's fascinating, the new tech that they got these days. It's fascinating. I think we really might win on this earth. It's amazing what they was able to do. I couldn't believe it. That's how they're going to be talking, man. You know how these people talk, man. That's how they're going to be talking. They're going to be doing TED Talks about it, you know. They're going to be talking about it on all these podcasts. They're going to be bowing down, man. When you if you around people and you talk about God, they might tell you to shut up because they don't believe in that. And they might say to you, if your God's so powerful, why don't you perform what they did then? Why can't you do that then? They might say, when's your God ever did what they did? That's the way how these people are going to talk, man. Isn't that what people used to say to Yahweh Shai? Didn't people used to say to Yahweh Shai, do something then? Do a miracle or something, man? Didn't people used to try and come to him like that? Wasn't that how people were speaking to him when he was on the cross? Wasn't they saying, save yourself and us? If you're really him, take yourself down off this cross and save me as well while you're at it. That's how disrespectful they was, man. That's how they was talking. But they would have been saying it in Hebrew, though. You know? Let me get this scripture. Sirach chapter 19 and verse 22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence. Right? So all the things that they're doing is wickedness, man. But through their wickedness, they're going to be able to perform things. Right? And that's why they're going to be like, well, I don't care if it's wicked. Because they're going to say, and they say, well, through the wickedness, we can do things. So we don't care. This is Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse 3. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret. So, okay, let me read that again. Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from me, and they can do a lot of things, man. If you just think about a video recorder, right? They can record a whole day and show it back, right? They can do one of those things that Esdras was not able to do. They can do it. So they think in their mind, man, we are gods. That's how they think. That's how they think, man. Now, they might not necessarily openly say that in front of people's faces, but they think it. They think that if there ever was a God that existed, they are it. That's what they think. And they go about things in a way to try and prove that to themselves. They flatter themselves in their own eyes. So what they'll do is they'll make everybody sick. And then they'll come up with a thing that's not really a cure, but it helps us, gets rid of a symptom, so it seems as though it's a cure. And that's why you see things now where like the cancer rates are so high, man. The cancer rates so high. It's unbelievable. But what's changed in the earth to make that happen? Was it not the things that they, through the things that they are causing wisdom? Which people might say, well, you can't say that. So, you know what I mean? But what's happening in the earth? How are people living now that's made people have these things more? Why is it that people are more sick these days? Why is that? You see? Why is it? If we're so more advanced in technology, why are people more sick than they've ever been? Why did I see an advert that said 1 in 2 people get that now? That's 50%. Is that not high? Verse 4, with thy wisdom and thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasure. So they don't care if what they do is wicked. Because if they can get money from it, they don't business, right? And that's why you've got all these people that are Israelites as well, man. They follow the same way because they don't care about how wicked somebody is, because they'll say, yeah, but he's getting that money though. Yeah, but he's getting money though. And that's why they try and come at the Hebrew Israelites in such a way where they say, if the doctrine's so true and if the way of life that we're talking about is so powerful, then how comes we ain't rich? Because the way how they see is that riches is the ultimate sign of whether something's valuable or not. That's how they think. And that's why the main person that they worship on the earth is E. Because he's been able to get money through his way of life. Right? So they think that his way of life must be the ultimate way of life then, because he's able to have power on the earth, but they don't understand that that power that he's got is being used, and he's being given that power just so that he can guide himself right to where it's proven that he was never supposed to rule anything, man, and that he was wicked, so that he can get destroyed, and so that everyone that bowed down and believed in him can be confounded at the same time. Woe unto you that trust in Egypt, man. Verse 5, by thy wisdom and by thy traffic thou hast gotten thee riches. Thou hast increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. And that's why they're so proud, man, because if you're able to go all the way, all around the earth, if you can like just close your eyes and aim it at a world map, right? And just throw a dart at that place, and anywhere it lands, you can just go there. Even if it lands on the sea somewhere, on the part where there be water, right? You can just say, okay, let's go out there and see what's out there then. And you've got the funds to just get a team of excavators or whatever the term is, and just go out there. Oh, you need to go there by boat? Okay, we've got a boat ready. We'll do that. Oh, it's going to be cold weather there? Okay, we've got coats and thermals to be able to conquer that weather that's out there. Oh, it's in the jungle? Okay, we'll get a team of soldiers to help you out there, to be your bodyguards while you're out there. Oh, you need a plane for that? Okay, we've got a plane. That's nothing. Of course, you're going to be proud if you can do that. And that's why it's almost a blessing to be in that middle ground of having not too much and not too little, man, to where sometimes you've got a bit of money in your bank account to do certain things that you might want to do, right? And sometimes you don't, where you have to struggle. And that's what Paul was talking about, where he said, I know how to abound and to abase, man. Verse 6, therefore, thus saith Yahweh, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of Yahweh, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. And that's what's going to happen to them, because all the people that they thought was allies are going to come up against them, man. All the people that they thought was their boy and that they had under subjection, and they thought, man, these people ain't never going to be brave enough to say anything against us. That's not going to happen for them. These people are going to be brave to say something against them. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 2, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. And that's what we're seeing really right now. But at the same time, there's still people bowing down because they can make money through this place, right? It's the main customer of the earth. And that's why the people that live here are proud consumerists, man, that run their mouth all the time. And if you ain't making money, they don't think that anything you've got to say is of any value. And then if you are making money, they'll fake as though the things that you're saying have got value until they can find a way to try and scam some of your worth out of you. Worst place on the earth America is, man. Babylon the Great. It's the worst place on the earth. This is Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in him, and that goes into all these nations that might get funding as well, man. They might actually get military funding from America. They might actually get when they're in a straits, they might actually get help from that place. Yet they still like, man, forget that place. Because they know that the only reason why they're really bowing down is because America's got that sword, man. They know that's the case. But eventually they're gonna say, you know what, I've got a sword too. And I think that as with my sword combined with all these other people's sword that's around this world can overcome the sword of this place, and they're gonna use it, man. They're gonna use it. And I think I made the point on this lesson, man, that the day is gonna come where they start to be able to perform miracles with this charagma, man, and they're gonna perform some mighty things that on the left hand side, man, and it's gonna cause for faith in Yahweh to really be tested in that time, man, and hopefully, Lord will Yahweh keeps our faith in that time, man, and don't make us be deceived by these things, which if we're of the elect anyway, then we can't be deceived. But what do the scriptures say? That things are gonna happen that if it was possible, they should be able to deceive the very elect. And if we're of the elect, we won't be able to be deceived, man. I'm going to end the lesson there. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahweh Shai, Ba'asham Rakah Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And Shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.